countrymen and countrywomen, tonight I've come here to talk to you about vaccination, crime, and terrorism. All these are important to understand because they affect stability and wealth creation. Hence, they affect our prosperity and the prosperity of the entire people. In the past, I've talked to you about unity, anti-sectarianism, and I've talked to you about wealth creation in order to create that prosperity and also create jobs. Today, I will only talk about vaccination, crime prevention, and counter-terrorism, because they are now the immediate problems. Vaccination will help us to protect ourselves against corona and be able to open our economy in January 2022. Full vaccination, which means 2 doses of many of the vaccines and 1 dose of a vaccine known as Johnson & Johnson, according to the scientists, give protection of 66.3%. They are therefore better than nothing. This is in spite of some information which shows that even the fully vaccinated may still contract the disease, but do not progress to severe disease or to death. So although you may get infected after you have been fully vaccinated, you will not be sick severely, and they say you will not die. That's what they say, but we shall see. We are here. Nevertheless, full vaccination has the following benefits. Benefits of, like I've said, you may get sick, you may get infected, but you will not get a severe disease, nor will you die. These are the benefits that we get from vaccination. That's why I say it's much, much better than not being vaccinated. On account of that, the government has been working very hard to get enough vaccines. As of today, we have received 15.5 million doses of different vaccines. In addition, by the end of December 2021, we shall have got the following vaccines. AstraZeneca, 1.2 million doses. Sinopharm, 1.7 million doses. Sinovac, 600,000. Johnson & Johnson, 9.9 million doses. And Pfizer, 2.9 million doses, totaling to 31.9 million doses. The Minister of Health will get time and explain that another time, the full mathematics of this, the full kibaro. These vaccines, what is important for you to get in your head is that these vaccines are enough to vaccinate fully all the 21 million Ugandans above the age of 18 years. If there is need for a third booster dose, then it is also available. The other day, I was talking to our good friends from the United Arab Emirates, UAE. They are ready to sell us 40 million doses of Sinopharm. With the booster doses, we would need only 21 million. Our scientists are studying they are studying two questions. Question number one is the booster dose necessary? If you have had two vaccines or one of Johnson & Johnson, do you need a booster? Do you need, in the case of the two doses, a third one? And in the case of Johnson & Johnson, a second one? The second question is, can we mix the vaccines? Should somebody that got two doses of AstraZeneca, like myself, be helped by taking Sinopharm as a booster dose? The vaccines are getting more available globally. Moreover, we are working hard on our own vaccine, which we shall call Narware Dawa. That's your new vaccine. Narware Dawa, NW. Or you can bring a better name. You people, you can say the name of Narware is not good. We should call it Chira Dawa. I thought about Chira Dawa, but because the car people are taking the Chira, I thought we should leave Chira to them and keep Narware Dawa. Narware Dawa or Badagara, whatever you call it, it will be Narware Dawa. ND, it should be ND, not NW, ND. Apart from the vaccines, our scientists like Ogwang, Nambatia, and others have been working on antivirals. The Nambatia Katenta Apuri effort is now at the stage of clinical trials. That of Ogwang has compiled a list of 300 persons whom they are found were healed by COVID-19. They are now going to do hospital-based clinical trials, whose results we shall be communicated once they are completed. In the meantime, on account of the stringent measures we took right from March 18, 2020, when the Corona-19 virus knocked on our door, the door of Uganda, we have only had two waves of the coronavirus, while other countries have had three, and some are entering the fourth wave. The total number of Ugandans who have been infected in these 2 years, almost 2 years now, is 127,000. Those that have recovered, 97,000, and those that have died, 3,247. We praise the Lord for these much smaller numbers compared to what happened in some of the other countries. The global number of the dead stands today at 5.2 million. The people who have died in the world are very many, 5.2 million. And those that have been infected, 257 million. Today, the corona situation in Uganda is as follows. Those in the hospital with corona are 140, occupying only 140 beds, while the total bed capacity is 3,793. You remember at one time we had that problem when the corona patients did not have beds in government hospitals, and they had to go to private hospitals, which were charging them a lot of money. Now, the beds are empty. Only 140 out of almost 4,000 beds. Those dying per day are only 2, as compared to how many were they at the highest? No, just tell me, I will tell them. 50. At the worst time, 54 were dying a day. Now only 2 are dying. Of course, that's not good, because 2 shouldn't be dying, but much less than the 54. And today, when you test 100,000 people, only 10 are found positive with corona, compared to 1,735 at the height of the second wave on the 10th of June, 2021. So the people who are positive now are much fewer than when we had the hike. Therefore, Ugandans, our firm stand has not been in vain. Remember that the history of the NRM is the history of freedom fighters who always speak the truth and deal with reality realistically. That is the NRM. Embera tujikwata nga bweri. We never sugarcoat anything. We never entertain cheap popularity, failing to tell the people the truth because we want to be popular with them in mistakes, even when it will lead to their ruin. Fortunately, and with God's guidance and approbation, we always succeed and emerge from those difficult situations triumphant. Now that we have got enough vaccines, therefore, the task is to make all adults above the age of 18 years to come out and be vaccinated. In the past, because the vaccines were not enough, we were targeting vaccinating the 4.8 million. You remember that number. These were the following. Those above the age of 50 years, who are 3.3 million. Those below 50 years, but with the comorbidities of diabetes, etc., who are estimated at 500,000. The teachers, 550,000. The health workers, 150,000, and the security personnel, 250,000. These would be the 4.8 million who were our first target. Recently, I advised the Minister of Health to add on the following: the bar and hotel workers, because those are really front line. If you talk of front line, the market workers, those who work in the market, the taxi and bus drivers and conductors, and border operators. I had advised them to add this list, to add on to these to the list when we didn't have enough vaccines. I had said, you people, you have dealt with soldiers, you have dealt with teachers, health workers, but how about our children who are doing this work, these very active jobs of the barmaids and all that? All these efforts of prioritizing categories to be vaccinated were on account of not having enough vaccines. That's why we were saying, on Yabasoka, let this one be the one to come first. In our language, north of Karuma would say, a chair, one by one. Don't come too many. Now that we have enough vaccines, the message is different. You have heard. I'm telling you that now that we have got enough vaccines, the message is different. It is all those above the age of 18 years, come forward and be vaccinated. All the health center 3s will be having the vaccines. I command the RDCs and the district medical officers in each district to use the local radios to guide the vaccination efforts in the respective catchment areas of each health center 3, i.e. in each sub-county. The team of RDC and the district medical officer is the one to guide on which dates the people of Semuto sub-county, for example, should go out to be vaccinated because they are sure the vaccines will be there. I don't want you to tell people to go to the health center to be vaccinated and then the vaccines are not there. If I get such a story, I will put you in jail. I will arrest you. They should be assisted by the cows and the Gombora chiefs to send out these messages by media and also by couriers on bicycles, piki-pikis, etc. to the villages. It is not necessary for vaccination teams to go to the villages because that increases the cost of the exercise. The teams should only go to the villages for the very few, very old people that cannot move at all, identified by the LC1s. We need to save money because we may have to vaccinate the children also. In other countries, people have started vaccinating children. We don't know why, but after we study it, if it becomes necessary, we shall also do it. Hence, such money should not be squandered on uncooperative people that do not bother to do the minimum that is necessary to save their lives and get the whole country out of trouble. Therefore now, I direct the RDCs, the district medical officers, the chief administrative officer and the Gombora chiefs, through the radios and through the couriers to ensure that all people of 18 years and above go to the health center 3s and be vaccinated when the vaccines are available. The vaccines are there in the country, but we want to be sure that they are also at the sub-county. Yeah. What I'm saying is that the vaccines are in the country. They may be in Kampala, but not in Semuto or Ngoma or Bukwiri and Kyankwanzi. The schools and the whole economy will be open in January 2022, whether some people are vaccinated or not. The Wajankole say, that once you pre-arrange with somebody to go on a journey, you don't shout out the following morning, oh, we go, the time is done. No, we have already agreed. So the agreement is that the vaccines are now here. Please go and be vaccinated. If you don't go, we shall open the economy all the same. We shall open. And if you get into problems, don't say the government did not tell me. I would also like to use this occasion to talk again to the Ugandans about the battle against crime and terrorism. I had last talked about this on the 28th of October, 2021. This is 4 weeks ago. Both crime and terrorism are motivated by parasitism. People who want power and wealth without democracy or working with your hands. Right from 1965, the precursors of the NRM, the student study groups, were mainly from the background of wealth creators, mainly crops producers and livestock rearers. Later on, we worked with fishermen and the artisans of Katwe. Although at that time we had not clearly refined our ideology and strategy, from the historic examples of the European countries such as France, which though united for a long time, had the weakness of having internal fiefdoms, such as Brittany, Burgundy, those were provinces of France, that imposed inter-province taxes, thus undermining the free flow of goods within France, and also of the peoples such as the Germans and the Italians, although one people who were still fragmented into many small kingdoms, like Germany was still divided into 39 kingdoms, and also Italy was divided into a number of kingdoms, such as Tuscany, the one in the south, Naples, and all that. So, by studying these examples, we came to know that fragmentation was weakness, while unity was strength. That is how countries like Spain, Portugal, England, and Russia had become more powerful than the Germans and the Italian peoples. We therefore started despising and even effectively walked out of the existing sectarian political parties of DP, UPC, and KY, Kabaka Yeka. There was also the good example of the 13 American former British colonies that had, in 1776, united under George Washington to form the nucleus of the by now powerful country of the United States of America. In those history studies, we noticed the role of the new social class in the Western countries, Europe and the USA, known as the middle class or the bourgeoisie, who, unlike the feudalists, understood and valued the importance of integration, of unity, because bigger markets were better for their growing businesses. This need for bigger markets by the respective business This need for bigger markets by the respective business interests played decisive roles in the French Revolution of 1789. The bourgeoisie, the middle class, were the ones who were very much behind this. And the unification of Germany in 1870 to 71, mainly by the Prussian Junkers, Prussian large farmers. By the time of Idi Amin in 1971, our student movement had crystallized our 4 principles of patriotism, Pan-Africanism, socio-economic transformation, and democracy, and had become ardent supporters of Mwalimu Nyerere because he was the principal champion of these principles. Why patriotism? No sectarianism. Why Pan-Africanism and socio-economic transformation? It is on account of the prosperity of the African populations, i.e. patriotism and Pan-Africanism, by uniting the markets for wealth creators. And then for strategic security, the idea of the East African Federation, by having stronger armies and handling security and sovereignty problems together, unlike now, when ADF is using Eastern Congo with impunity. And achieving all this by taking advantage of the oneness of the African peoples, i.e. the Bantus, the Bantu-speaking peoples of Africa, the Cushitic peoples of Africa, the Nilotic peoples of Africa, and the Afro-Asiatic people of Africa. These are the 4 groups of Africa. They're just 4 groups. We should create several powerful states, the type of India or China in Africa, to facilitate this attainment of that prosperity, strategic security, and undugu, fraternity of the African people. We should not build a Latin America in Africa, a center of weakness, but several United States or Chinas or Indias in Africa. That has been the ideology of the NRM from 1965, following Mwalimu Nyerere. Why democracy? It is because of the African people should always freely decide their destiny. On account of these beliefs, we were able to build a strong army with the massive support of the masses, which enabled us to achieve victory in 1986, and thereafter to bring unity and peace in Uganda. That is how the economy has been able to recover and expand from US dollars 1.5 billion to now $41 billion. The shortages of 1986, the Magendo, the Chibanda, the Kusamara etc. have been replaced with surpluses, Echengela, Muruganda, Omweru, Nyankore, of everything, sugar, bananas, maize, milk, industrial products, etc., etc. The country is connected by tarmac road from corner to corner, and electricity is about to reach all the sub-counties. We had only 28,000 telephones in 1986. We now have 28 million as of July 2021. While we only had 2.5 million children in the school system, we now have 15 million. The population of Uganda was only 14 million in 1986. It is now 43 million. In spite of all these positive achievements, many of them are apparent right from 1986 or even from the Bush days, e.g. the discipline of the army. Some parasitic groups feared this success. These successes would render their groups irrelevant. Initially, they were working also with some foreigners. Hence, they launched wars. Lakwena, Kony, ADF, UPA, FOBA, Itongwa, Kirimutu, etc. Between 1986 and 2007, these groups organized the rural insurgency, which involved hiding in forests or mountains, ambushing on roads, kidnapping people to be sex slaves or to fight for them, launching surprise attacks against the army, planting landmines given to them by the government of Sudan, etc., etc. By 2007, the army had developed a multidimensional capacity that could not permit such groups to operate anywhere in the rural areas of Uganda or even in the neighboring countries if the governments of those countries allow us to operate there. This is what happened in South Sudan when they allowed us to go there. We went and chased Kony from there. The government of Congo, when they allowed us to go to Garamba National Park, we chased Kony from there. This multidimensional capacity included LDUs, guarding villages against those that attack soft targets, wananchi, zonal forces that always stay in an area, e.g. a sub-county or a county, without ever leaving that area until the insurgency is defeated. Mobile forces to hunt for the terrorists in the forests. Air forces, communication intelligence operators to know what the enemy is saying and doing and where he is located, and road protection against road mines. These were all challenges in the rural areas which we had to deal with. And we developed that capacity by 2007. Therefore, the insurgents have no chance. Hence, peace in the rural areas since 2007 in all parts of Uganda. Recently, there was some cattle rustling again in Karamoja, but it is being solved because it is a rural area and things will be, the capacity is overwhelming. One of the groups, ADF, having been defeated in the rural areas, the Rwenzori Mountains, with very tough terrain, now resorted to urban terrorism. Between January and July 2001, the ADF exploded about a total of 30 explosives, killing a total of 147 people. This was in 2001. Although we were not well equipped in the towns, mainly using human intelligence, we defeated this urban terrorism campaign. There was some quiet. However, in 2012, the ADF started assassinating individuals. They assassinated 8 sheikhs by the names of Sheikh Abdul Karim Sentamu, Sheikh Abubakar Muhammad Chiwewa, Sheikh Ibrahim Chiria, this young man, I knew him very well. Sheikh Mustafa Bahiga, Sheikh Abubakar Madangu Yunus, Sheikh Rashid Wafula, Sheikh Dr. Muaya, very, very useful man of Mayuge, and Abdul Sentruga. They also assassinated Joan Kagezi, Major Kigundu, and some other people. And some other people, maybe not ADF, assassinated Kawesi, Deputy Inspector General Police, Chirumira etc. There were also other criminal acts, like the killing of the women in Entebbe, in Zana, Nansana, and the killings by the Chidawarime group of people in Nabisojo on New Year's Day, the other year. Using human intelligence, we arrested some, and others, e.g. Chidawarime, were killed. However, the investigations were inconclusive and slow. That is when I made the broadcast, the speech to Parliament on the 18th of June 2018, where I outlined 12 measures to be undertaken. This was after we had discussed in our National Security Council. Those measures have been partially implemented. The ADF controllers, being bankrupt, however, did not understand the importance of those measures, nor did they evaluate the cause of their defeat in the rural areas, in the rural insurgency in the Rwenzori Mountains. The UPDF that defeated them in 2007 is now much stronger, actually many times stronger than it was in 2007. Their attempts to kill General Katumba on the 1st of June 2021 landed them in a trap. We were able, using the modern technology, to identify some of them. Once you get some, it is a matter of time before you get all of them. Since the Katumba attack, the following ADF supporters have been killed by the security forces: Nsubuga Muhammad, Moses Kaliowa Muhammad, alias Mose, Matovu Adam, otherwise also called Manhaji, Ruama Hussein, also called Master by their groups, Serwada Juma, Muhammad Chirevu, otherwise Abbas Chirevu, the one who was killed a few days ago, Atindia Yassin, also called Senaburia Dan, Biarahanga Musa Bahemka, Turikimanya Joshua Matthias, Bagonza Joseph. These are 12 who have been killed here inside Uganda since the attempt on Katumba in June. A total of 106 have been arrested. I have heard some arguments about Sheikh Chirevu Muhammad, how he was a nice person, etc. I normally monitor closely these operations. There is no way the security operatives would have known about Chirevu Muhammad if he was not connected with the Katumba group, trying to assassinate him, with, which led to the group in Padere during the burial of General Lokech, linked with the bombers of Komamboga, linked with the bus bomb, and the 2 recent bombs. All these are linked. If the ADF had remained quiet and not attacked Katumba, you know, our security people are really lax. That's part of the problem. They're very lax. Most of the time, they are not. But when you provoke them, then they wake up. So that's what's happened. So those who have been hearing people about this person Chirevu, my immediate answer, my immediate reaction, as somebody who is following very closely, is that there is no way our otherwise lax security people would have heard of or known or followed somebody called Chirevu if he was not part of the network which attacked Katumba. And why did they, you see these stupid fellows in ADF, because they have been in Congo there, smuggling, doing things with impunity. They were really overestimating themselves. The reason they wanted to, first of all, they wanted to kill Katumba. Katumba, we must kill Katumba because he's a big government person, so that we show that we are there. Although Jamil Mukuru was arrested, we want to show that we are there. That's what, and also some of them were saying that because Katumba, being Minister of Works, and he was going to work on the roads in Congo, which is their territory. How dare we? How dare anybody go to work on the roads in Congo? Congo is their territory. Tunonya Congo katono Katumba akola kunguto tulino kumulaga. That was those idiots when they are there talking among themselves. So now, when it backfired on them, and we started getting them, then there was a Chom Zero, which had happened. Chom Zero, a taboo. Because policemen are not supposed to be serious. This Lokech man, that was the Musango of Lokech, to be serious. Policemen of Uganda are normally not serious. Now, this Lokech, who is very serious, nakulondola, follow you up. God has taken him away. Now we must also go and follow his dead body and blow it up. You can imagine how stupid these fellows are. Now they must go and blow up the mourners who had come to mourn Lokech. That's how we go to them again, because of the other first breakthrough with Katumba, when they went to Padere to blow up Lokech, the Lokech funeral, because Lokech had already died from something else. We got now. Some were actually arrested in the hotel in Padel. And then others ran to Kampala. And that's how. So, a total of 106 have been arrested. I have had some arguments about Sheikh Chirevu Muhammad, how he was a nice person, etc. I normally monitor closely these operations. There is no way the security operatives would have known about Chirevu Muhammad if he was not connected with the Katumba group, trying to assassinate Katumba, with the Padel group during the burial of General Okech, with the bombers of Komamboga, those who bombed the pig eaters, the bus bomb, and the two recent bombs. The bomb of CPS and that of IGG office were linked to the third one that was supposed to be exploded by Mose Musa Mudassiri Mugamba at Waise. On the same day, the plan was to have 3 bombs. One here at the CPS, one at the IGG office, and another one in Waise, in the population, in the evening by this Mudassiri boy. The bomber at CPS was Mansour, and one at the one of the IGG office was Wanjusi. Let the public be patient and wait for the court. You will hear the truth. Because now the public is engaged in the trial. Oh, Chirevu was innocent, this was what? I am a reader of intelligence briefs. Please wait for the court. That's where you, the public, you will be able to know. You now know, we now know a lot about these terrorists. Of course, some are not yet arrested, such as Obaida bin Bukenya. This is now the one who was coordinating the attacks on Katumba. Ubaida bin Bukenya, the member of the Ngabi clan that has now become an Arab on account of his ideological sickness. You can imagine, Ngabi katafuse Mwarabu. Ubaida bin Bukenya. He wants to be an Arab. He wants to be an Arab. How can Museveni of the Basita clan become a Jew or an Anglo-Saxon because he is a Christian? So Museveni now, I should now be a Jew now. You're a Jew. Sickness. These are sick people. Sheer sickness. My advice to all of them, these still hiding here in Kenya, Tanzania, Mozambique, Congo, or South Africa, to surrender and save themselves. Of course, they will be prosecuted, but if they do not come out, they will all die. In the meantime, the public should be vigilant. Until all of them are arrested, they will continue to pose a short-term danger if we are not vigilant. However, our infrastructure is already helping. You can now watch how our infrastructure captured the bombers on Tuesday. If the people have that That film they were showing is the one who. That is the fellow walking. That is where now? That is the police station. That's the one. So it was like on the main road or what? The police can show. I would want the police to show it to you properly. To show that the camera is useful because you can. It's captured it, because otherwise, if we didn't have this camera, we wouldn't know. Now this is the. The picking now. That's the one who went to the IGG office. That's the other one who was walking. Cham Towers is where, near the police. Okay, don't waste our time. The policemen will show it to them properly. You now watch how our infrastructure captured the bombers on Tuesday. The investigators get a lot of information from that video. Those cameras can now see the wrongdoers. The scientists are telling me that we can add a capacity to those cameras that will enable them to smell anybody carrying explosives and make alarm so that we go for him. Because now we had not put that capacity on that's enough. Let's go on with our the scientists are telling me, of course we have explosive sniffers even now. We have them. Gadgets that can sniff explosives. But they have been used on individual buildings. Before you enter office, before you do this in some places. But now I'm told that it can be mass applied, installed like on those cameras, and when somebody carrying explosives passes, the cameras are detected. You remember that we are also going to digitally equip all vehicles and all pikipikis a device which somebody cannot remove, so that and which will be able to tell us which vehicle was here and there at a particular time. That one is already being worked on. That project which Jim Wes is working on with some friends, where we put a digital monitor in each car and each pikipiki. Some people are fighting for contracts and so on. For us, we're not interested in contracts. We're interested in security. That group should move ahead so that we digitally monitor each pikipiki and each vehicle, and that monitor cannot be removed. If you try to remove it, we shall detect you. With the eyes, the nose, and the ears of the state, it will be impossible for the terrorists to operate in the towns of Uganda, just like they are now unable to operate in the rural areas of Uganda. In the meantime, use what is on the ground to be more vigilant. Apart from the cameras of the country, the government establishment should have their own in-house cameras to monitor suspicious movements around and act against them before doing damage. The police is already guiding people on how to expose those criminals. The issue, however, is to use intelligence to uproot these elements out of our society. And we now have the capacity to do so, both within the country and with neighbors also outside the country. Coming to the issue of suicide bombers, it reminds me of the tribal chauvinism in Europe, where the English used to talk of the Dutch courage, which meant artificial courage on account of alcohol. The English were insulting the Dutch, that they have courage which is only based on alcohol. Apparently the Dutch would give their soldiers alcohol so that they attack as if they don't fear, when in fact they are under the influence of alcohol. So the English called it Dutch courage, courage from alcohol. The NRA UPDF has been fighting for the last 50 years. We despise that type of courage inducement. We regard it as manipulation. We believe in and we use conscious courage, where we know the risks of fighting, but accept them, but also educate ourselves about the countermeasures against the risks. Those who use religion, going to Jannah, like I hear that's what they are telling these young chaps. Alcohol, drugs like marijuana, witchcraft like Rakwena, are essentially cowards trying to create bravery artificially through manipulation. We have fought and defeated them in Somalia. Because in Somalia, that's what they were manipulating the young children to come and attack us. Yeah. And we defeated them. The Israeli army fought and defeated such groups in the Middle East. The American army and the Red Army defeated the Japanese kamikaze. The Japanese were using this manipulation, where they get pilots to go with a plane and crash into a ship of the Americans, blow themselves up. The same type of suicide aircraft pilots. It is cowardice, desperation, actually criminal. At the right time, you'd be surprised when we tell you more about these crooks. But I will not say much now. At the right time, we shall expose the criminality of the actors that send these children to die for no good purpose. Going to Jannah is controlled by God. I don't think you can take yourself to Jannah. You must be admitted. Does God admit wrongdoers? Although I'm not, I don't know what God is thinking, but I don't think he admits wrongdoers. He must be admitting people are doing. How can killing innocent people give you a ticket to heaven? I'm sure God admits people who are clean. Now, how he would admit you when you are killing innocent people is something I cannot understand. If suicide bombing enables people to go to heaven, why do the leaders of these groups, the warlords, not take lead by example? Because surely if you want to go to heaven, the first to go should be the leader, instead of sending young children. I was checking with our commanders in Somalia. When they were sending young children whom we were killing, the army would send them, we will kill them, send them, we will kill them. I asked the commanders, did some of the leaders come to go to heaven that way? None of them was ever the warlords, the ones who sent children, none of them has ever come to go to heaven. They just send children, give them alcohol, I hear. If suicide bombing enables people going to heaven, why do the leaders of these groups, the warlords, not take the lead by example? They do not want to go to heaven. The ADF has exposed itself to us. When we are ready, we are readier. They are sure to be defeated. The explosives they are using are partly improvised, such as the use of ammonium nitrate. These explosives have been analyzed. The ones at the CPS, what these people don't know is that we have capacity to do all this, even forensically, afterwards. They have checked the explosives at the CPS and the ones at the IGG office. But more importantly, the one which was recovered, not exploded, at Katoke, the one where we killed the Pharaoh. It was total whole, and therefore, it was diffused, and we studied it. The explosives they were using, the ones over here of CPS and IGG office, were mixed with petrol because of the vehicles which and the pikipikis which exploded, which were hit. So there was a mixture of hydrocarbons with the nitrate, ammonium nitrate. But the one which was whole which had not been exploded, we studied it more. It was mainly ammonium nitrate and also calcium ammonium nitrate. That's what some of the people were confusing as C4. C4 is a military grade explosive, only owned by the armies, not by these private people. But calcium ammonium nitrate, my people say, could appear like, but with a lower explosive capacity. The detonating code, which was recovered, seems to be imported from a manufacturer. But for the others, the ammonium nitrate is an ordinary fertilizer. It is so therefore we shall track the source of these explosives. Of course, for the fertilizers, the police should now tighten. The people who sell fertilizers, ordinary fertilizers, to make sure that they check whom they are selling to. But the important thing is not to analyze the explosives, is not to take precautions against exploders. The important thing is to uproot anybody who has got that idea from our society. And that's what we are going to do. And that's why we are not going to listen to anybody who is talking of bail, because like this Chirevu, who was killed, had been given amnesty, I hear. Had been given amnesty in 2000 and something. This one who was killed. So we cannot go on recycling these parasites. Now for ADF, it's now a business. Because they are in Eastern Congo, which has no government. They cut timber, they dig gold. These are the ones they are selling in order to get money to do bad things. So they may not even want that situation to end because they are making money out of it. But we are discussing with the Congo government. We shall get them. And the presidents contacted me from all parts of Africa, and I was telling them the situation, and we are really going to solve this problem of ADF. So I want to assure Ugandans that you concentrate on wealth creation. Don't be frightened, because we defeated ADF when we did not have the capacity we have now. We have now much more capacity, and we're adding to the capacity. Actually, these who planted the bomb at Parliament, we are running away, because you heard that at exactly 10:30, these ones attacked at about 10 something, some past 10. I was here. I had the explosives. At exactly 10:30, that's when our people shot the other boy, the one from Katoke, from Nansana, the one who was supposed to plant the bomb in the evening. They shot him at 10:30. They were all on the run. Our people were looking for them from Pader. And we are now looking for others. The whole list, we have it. So my advice to these people is that they should surrender. That's my advice. Because there is no way out for them. But for the public, be vigilant. In the meantime, before we have captured all of them, they can try to do some other harm. And I would want the police, I don't know why the police don't publicize all these people, why they keep quiet. I don't know why they don't put out their pictures, everybody, because so that everybody is looking for. I know they put them out some time ago, but they should repeat. These are the people we are looking for. We're looking for the whole list. If they run out of the country and go to neighboring countries, we shall follow them there. So, sorry about the people who died. The people who died were 3 people. I think there was a policeman and an engineer, and then at the other place there was a boy who was selling things there. I heard of 3 who died. Murago. There were 4. Okay. And then the ones of Komomboga were 2. But otherwise, it was also these bombers who also, 3 of them who died. So I'm sorry about the people who died, but Ugandans, be assured, we are coming to the end of this problem. Because why do I say this? Because we have got better information, better intelligence. This is not a military conflict. It was a bit military when we were in the bush, when they were in the bush, the coin and all that. But from that time, it's no longer a military conflict. It's more of an intelligence-led campaign. You just need to find out who and where, that's all. They have no capacity to resist. They can't say we are here, we fight, no. Their weapon is hiding and doing bad things. Our struggle is to uncover the hiding and locate where they are. And the public can help. The public can help. For instance, like the group of Rueza, where many of these young people were coming from, where there was a preacher called Nsubuga. The people chased him. He was chased from Rueza Mosque because they didn't agree with what he was saying. Say, you go away. This is Nsubuga man. Then apparently he went to Gangu. There's another place called Gangu. And I hear he became assistant of Chirevu, the one some people are pleading for. The one Nsubuga who was chased from Rueza for his bankrupt preaching, Kafiri, what? Kafiri, this is our land. In Rwanda, I was with the traditional people of the traditional religion, Abarubari, they were there. I had to work with them. Who are you to tell us about Kafiri? This is our land. You go to, if you don't want to live with us, you go to and live with the Arabs. This is our land. It's not the land of anybody else. So to come and talk of Kafiri, to come and talk of, you are bankrupt. The one who is eating pigs, if they are eating pigs, let them, are they causing you constipation? You eat what you want. I don't eat rice. Have you seen me quarreling with you people who eat rice? I don't eat rice. I'm a toke eater. I don't eat rice. I only ate rice when I had nothing to eat in Tanzania. Otherwise, I'm with my karo, with my matoke, a little bit of muhogo. I'm a muhogo man because I'm from here. I'm not an Indian to eat rice. Or chapati, or eat bread. I don't eat bread. Now, am I going to launch a war against you bread eaters because I hear you are all eating bread? Because me, I'm stuck to my Ntungamo. I'm a Ntungamo person. I'm not from Cairo or from Baghdad. I'm from here. Or London. So I am Ntungamo, post office, private Bagambara. But I have no quarrel with you people. You who want to eat whatever you eat. Who are you to disturb our people with their traditional beliefs? What? So I would once the corona is over, I also talk with the sheikhs. I'm glad I saw Sheikh Umrangira Nakibinge with his group at Chibudi, preaching for peace. And the other day I was in Kabamba, and our sheikh there was preaching very well. The sheikh from somewhere, from Kasambia. So our Muslim sheikhs need to help these children. They shouldn't allow our children to be destroyed. The police have arrested somebody who had 13 children in a house near Matuga. They take these children who have no, and say they are looking after them, then they feed them with this nonsense. Thank you. concentrate on work. We are getting to grips with the ADF. We are hunting the ones who are not yet arrested, and my appeal to the ones who are involved, please come out. Come out, and it is better. It's a better option for you than staying, because we are coming for you for sure. Thank you. I wish you good luck.